Alyce Faye Wattleton, black nurse and reproductive rights activist. Alyce Faye Wattleton began her healthcare career as a nurse, but she is best known for her role as an advocate for women's reproductive rights. In 1978, she became the first African American to head the Planned Parenthood Federation of America, a position she held for 14 years. Wattleton was born on July 8, 1943, in St. Louis, Missouri, to George and O.Z. Garrett Wattleton. Her mother was a preacher in the Fundamentalist Church of God, and Wattleton spent summers of her childhood traveling to evangelical tent meetings. She notes in her autobiography, Life on the Line, that she inherited her strength from a long line of family members who fought against racism. Her great-grandmother, Maria Williams, quote, faced down a white straw boss who had tried to take away her son to work in the fields, unquote. Wattleton's mother was from a sharecropping family, and she had faced prejudice and opposition in her quest to become a preacher. In 1964, Wattleton earned a bachelor's degree in nursing from Ohio State University. 3 years later, she received a master's degree in maternal and infant health care from Columbia University. Wattleton began her healthcare career as an instructor at Miami Valley School of Nursing in Dayton, Ohio. From 1967 to 1970, she was assistant director of nursing at the Dayton Public Health Nursing Association. During her years in nursing, Wattleton cared for women and girls who were dealing with the consequences of unintended pregnancies and illegal abortions. In 1970, when she became executive director of the Planned Parenthood Association of Miami Valley, Dayton, Ohio, Wattleton was at the forefront of the fight to legalize abortion. In 1973, the U.S. Supreme Court decided Roe v. Wade. In 1973, the U.S. Supreme Court decided Roe v. Wade and provided women with the legal right to obtain an abortion. After the decision, Wattleton worked to prevent the erosion of the right. Wattleton headed the Dayton-based Planned Parenthood Association for 8 years. In 1978, she became the first African-American president of the Planned Parenthood Federation of America. At that time, the organization was a network of 191 affiliates in 43 states and the District of Columbia. Planned Parenthood served more than 1 million people annually, with a staff of 3,000 workers and 20,000 volunteers. One of the nation's largest healthcare organizations, Planned Parenthood's primary function at the time was to provide contraceptive services and education in family planning. At the organization, Wattleton continued the fight to keep abortion legal. In Life on the Line, Wattleton recounts her numerous battles with political conservatives, anti-abortion activists, and the religious right. Just 3 weeks before she was to take office, coordinated anti-abortion actions took place across the nation. Demonstrators forced their way into abortion clinics and disrupted medical services. Two of Wattleton's biggest struggles during her 14 years at Planned Parenthood focused on Title X in 1981 and the U.S. Supreme Court case Webster v. Reproductive Health Services in 1989. Title X provided federal support for family planning. Then President Ronald Reagan proposed returning such healthcare funding decisions to the states, which would mean that states did not have to spend the funds on family planning. In March of 1981, the Senate Committee on Labor and Human Resources held a hearing on Title X. Wattleton appeared before the committee to testify. Of the experience, she wrote in Life on the Line, quote, "Seeing Title X buffeted in the Senate and House committees, I felt even more strongly that we had to become more politically forceful," unquote. In the end, the federal government rather than the states retained control over this funding. In Webster versus Reproductive Health Services, the justices decided how far states could go in restricting abortion. Concerning this decision, Wattleton told the media, quote, "Our anticipation is that we will fight on to make certain that all women in this country continue to have access to safe abortion. We are not daunted by the Supreme Court decision." Unquote. Wattleton's desire to make Planned Parenthood a more political organization met with opposition from some colleagues who did not want to be crusaders for abortion rights. She also discovered many years later that her mother, who had preached against abortion in her sermons, was deeply hurt by her daughter's work. Wattleton commented in her autobiography, quote, "I'd even been told that Mama had publicly requested prayers for my salvation after I'd taken the job at the Planned Parenthood Federation of America. Still, she'd always seemed to take a measure of pride in the advances of my career. It never occurred to me that her pride had its roots in such a profound sense of loss." Unquote. After resigning as head of Planned Parenthood in 1992, Wattleton turned her attention to hosting a television talk show and developing the Center for Gender Equity. About her life after turning 50, Wattleton said in a 1997 Time magazine article, quote, "I had not expected to be as settled down and as peaceful about myself as I believe I am now. Things sort of fall into place. Those qualities and strengths that carried us through our 20s, 30s, and 40s are even better. They're even stronger." Unquote. Throughout her career, Wattleton has been honored and applauded by women's groups and others for her courage and determination in the face of great opposition. She won the Dean's Distinguished Service Award from the Columbia School of Public Health in 1992, the Jefferson Public Service Award in 1992, the Margaret Sanger Award in 1992, the Spirit of Achievement Award from the Albert Einstein College of Medicine, Yeshiva University in 1991, the 20th Anniversary Advocacy Award from the National Family Planning and Reproductive Health Association in 1991, the Pioneer of Civil Rights and Human Rights Award from the National Conference of Black Lawyers in 1990, and numerous others. Wattleton was married to Franklin Gordon in the 1970s. The couple divorced in 1981. They have one daughter, Felicia. Citations are in the description.